Hi guys, welcome back to Junris React, and for today's video reaction, let's travel again to our beautiful country, which is Russia, our favorite country. And the title of this video is A Day in the Life of Vladimir Putin as President of Russia. And we know how Vladimir Putin was very strong president in all over the world, and we really appreciate how he did in his country, how well developed the Russia is because of the way how he handled to his country. And I know a lot of people will disagree also, or few of the people disagree how he handled Russia, but few I'm a Filipino, but I appreciate the way how Putin, a very strong president in their country, and he knows how to handle it, how developed Russia is among the best country in the world. And I hope you will enjoy watching with this one, guys. And credit to the owner also with the video to Gary7Gun. I'll put in the description box below so that you can connect also with the owner of the video. And let's get to it and enjoy, guys. And thank you so much for coming again to my channel and supporting my video. Kakvey and Privyet to our Russian friends. Let's get to it and enjoy.
Vladimir Putin has been a Russian head of state since 2008 and is undeniably one of the most powerful people in the world. He got his start as an intelligence officer in the KGB and built a web of important allies in the Russian government. Since then, he has become synonymous with Russian politics, serving as the president since 2012. While some consider him to be despotic, he continues to have high approval ratings among Russian citizens. Because of the shadowy nature of Russian economics, some even believe he is the wealthiest man on the planet. But most headlines focus on his high-profile international disputes and subterfuge. To better understand this mysterious figure, we are exploring a day in the life of Vladimir Putin.
Correct.
Vladimir Putin was born on October 7, 1952 in Leningrad. I come from an ordinary family, and this is how I lived for a long time, nearly my whole life. I lived as an average, normal person, and I've always maintained that connection, Mr. Putin recalls. His father, Vladimir Putin, participated in the war. In the 1950s, he worked as a security guard, and later as a foreman at the carriage works. Though a small child, Putin could hold his own in fights thanks to martial arts classes. By the age of 16, he was a top-ranked expert at Sambo, a Russian combination of judo and wrestling. By the time he was a teenager, Putin had begun to display the ambition that he later became known for, and he attended a respected high school, School 281, which only accepted students with near-perfect grades. The institution was the only one in Russia to stress chemistry, which was Putin's interest. However, he soon moved toward liberal arts and biology. Putin played handball and worked at the school radio station, where he played music by the Beatles and other Western rock bands. Fascinated with spy movies as a teen, he aspired to work for the KGB, the Russian Secret Service. This dream came true in 1975, and since then he has never looked back, gaining power and living a lavish lifestyle among his hand-picked oligarch companions. In terms of his routine, the president wakes late and eats shortly after noon. He begins with the simplest of breakfasts. There's always cottage cheese. His cooked meal is always substantial. He prefers an omelet or occasionally porridge. He likes quail eggs. He drinks fruit juice. The food is forever fresh. Baskets of his favorites dispatched regularly from the farmland estates of the Patriarch Kirill, Russia's religious leader. When Barack Obama visited Putin's residence for breakfast back in 2009, they discussed U.S.-Russia relations over a breakfast of eggs with beluga caviar and quail dumplings. They also enjoyed traditional Russian tea and snacks on the Russian leader's terrace. With breakfast, he has served coffee. His courtiers have been summoned, but these first 2 hours are taken up with swimming. The president enjoys this solitary time in the water. This is where the political assistants suggest he gets much of Russia's thinking done. After breakfast, the courtiers joke and idle and bide their time in the lacquered wood waiting rooms. He rarely comes to them quickly. They say 3, perhaps 4 hours is the normal wait for a minister. The president likes to spend some time in the gym, where Russian rolling news is switched on. There he enjoys the weights much more than the exercise bikes. The 65-year-old has been keen to cultivate an athletic masculine image over the years. Since coming to power in 2000, he has appeared to pursue several other macho exploits, flying with cranes, fixing an electronic tracker to a polar bear, and shooting a tiger with a tranquilizer. Ahead of the 2007 parliamentary elections, the Kremlin seemed particularly keen on showcasing his shirtless body. Though he is often lampooned for his carefully cultivated macho image, Putin has had many public shows of physical strength. Ahead of a 2012 poll, Putin took no chances when it came to his strong appearance. He put on a display of physical prowess at a Kremlin youth camp 230 miles northwest of Moscow in front of thousands of patriotic young Russians who were encouraged by organizers each year to put the strongman politician on a pedestal. Dressed in chinos and a lightly colored striped shirt, Mr. Putin talked tough too, calling the United States a parasite on the global economy. But it was his physical feats that seemed to wow his young audience more than anything. Photographs of the event showed Mr. Putin trying to crush a frying pan with his bare hands as young admirers looked on. It's not clear whether he succeeded. Other images showed he had agitated an arm wrestling contest between two young men, taken part in a contest himself, and looked on as a weightlifter balanced a barbell loaded with heavy weight plates on his back. These are just a handful of the numerous publicity stunts that Putin has performed over the years, but the fact is he puts the average overweight politician to shame. In 2013, the Kremlin's chief doctor revealed that Putin distrusts medicines and instead keeps in good health by using traditional folk remedies, such as tea with honey, massages, and saunas. In 2015, he was photographed exercising with Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev. As Esquire reported, his workout outfit cost $3,200. When the president dresses, he chooses to wear only tailored, bespoke suits in conservative colors. His choice of ties is usually dour. The state-run website Russia Beyond the Headlines reports that Putin's favorite clothing brands are Katon and Brioni. The early afternoon, Putin begins his official duties, starting with briefing notes. This mostly takes place at his heavy wooden desk. These are offices without screens.
brilliant.
The president uses only the most secure technology, red folders with paper documents and fixed-line Soviet Warera telephones. The master begins his workday by reading 3 thick leather-bound folders. The first, his report on the home front compiled by the FSB, his domestic intelligence service. The second, his report on international affairs, compiled by the SVR, his foreign intelligence. The third, his report on the court, compiled by the FSO, his army of close protection. He is obsessed with information. The thickest, fattest folders at his request are not intelligence reports. They are press clippings. His hands first open the Russian Press Digest. The most important papers come at the front, the obsequious national tabloids. These matter most, with their millions of readers. Then he moves on to Russia's quality press, the lightly censored broadsheets. These matter in the Kremlin court. This is their gossip, their columnists, their analysts. He pays particular attention to the regular columns about Vladimir Putin written by Andrei Kolesnikov in Kommersant. His courtiers say he enjoys them greatly and always reads right to the end. Then the least important folders, his foreign press. These are clippings compiled both in the presidential administration and his foreign ministry. The departments do not hide from him the bad news. The president must know how far these foreigners demonize him. But to please him, they also dutifully include materials in German in the original, the language in which his long ago KGB posting in Dresden left him fluent. Beyond work, the Russian president isn't much of a reader, although he did indulge in at least one pulpy action novel in 2006, according to Newsweek. The books he finds most interesting are history books, heavy, respectable tomes about Ivan the Terrible, Catherine II, and Peter the Great. Now, those who claim to know his bedside say he enjoyed The Third Empire, a fantasy about an imaginary Latin American historian from 2054 who recounts the exploits of Tsar Vladimir II, the ingatherer of all Russian lands. But his courtiers are at pains to make it clear the president is not a fan of literature. Once in a while, an advisor will show Putin a satirical online video mocking him and his government. It's important for him to know how he is viewed by the public. Otherwise, he abstains from most technology at work, preferring traditional forms of communication to computers, as Newsweek reported. While traveling abroad, the Russian president's schedule tightens even more. Wherever he stays, everything from sheets to toiletries to fruit bowls is replaced. Putin also never accepts food from a host that hasn't been cleared by the Kremlin first. As a precaution, everything the Russian president has placed in front of him has been tried and tested by someone whose job it is to take a hit, should some political insurgent decide to spark the Third World War by murdering him. The Telegraph previously reported that Putin's favorite food is pistachio ice cream. He also gifted his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping a tub of ice cream during last year's G20 summit. Putin prefers to eat healthy food, including tomatoes, cucumbers, and lettuce. He prefers fish, although his favorite meat is mutton. He avoids sweets. This information comes, however, from Pravda, the publication once known as the official propaganda rag of the Soviet Union's Communist Party, which was itself reporting on Putin's own words. According to reports, Putin abstains from alcohol, except for during formal receptions. Projecting the image of teetotalism also may be a political move. When the president chooses to commute, a route is closed and cleared of all traffic. He can reach the Kremlin in less than 25 minutes while Moscow sits in gridlock. He dislikes coming to the Kremlin. He has cut down his meetings in Moscow since 2012 to a strict minimum. The president keeps busy, even on Saturday and Sunday. On the weekend, his schedule becomes more haphazard, but there are sometimes study sessions in the afternoon. mostly English language. His teacher helps him learn difficult words. There are times on Sundays he is said to pray or make a confession, but courtiers familiar with the office of the patriarch are at pains to clarify. Though not an atheist, his life is not that of a Christian. The president loves ice hockey. He thinks it's graceful, manly, and fun. The president practices ice hockey as much as he can. He loves putting on that thick, comfy helmet and picking up his agile hockey stick. This is what the court most feverishly covets. Every few weeks, the president organizes a game of ice hockey, a mark of intimacy, the treasured invite. The most bragged about occasion in oligarchic society is watching one of the president's hockey matches. These are his intimates, most like him from St. Petersburg, the old associates, the ones he trusts. They are mostly businessmen and on the United States sanctions list. Men like the brothers Arkady and Boris Rotenberg or Gennady Timchenko. These men are the inner circle, the ones that rose with him out of the swamps of St. Petersburg. He was only then a deputy mayor. They shared electricity wires between their dakas and ate cheap meat together. They feel they deserve this. They used to call him the boss, but over recent years they have taken to calling him the Tsar. Putin also loves animals. He owns a black Labrador named Connie, an Akita Inu named Yume, and a Karakachin dog named Buffy. Yume sparked an incident in 2016 when she trotted into an interview and barked at visiting Japanese journalists. Putin responded by giving the Akita a treat and showing off some of her tricks, according to CNN. Russia's court interpreter claims that Putin's life is monotonous. His motorcade goes in two directions, either to the Kremlin or to the airport. His planes leave from the presidential terminal, Vnukovo 2. His planes travel in threes. One carries his motorcade, one his delegation, the third that flies ahead for him. The fleet leaves Vnukovo 2 more than 5 times a month. His wish is to be everywhere. The visits abroad are conducted differently. The intelligence service plans ahead. The pilot group comes a month before the president to the capital in question. The luxury hotel his administration will occupy is inspected. The FSB and the SVR cooperate in this delicate matter. How secure is that room? How biocontaminable is the bathroom? The court has established itself on foreign soil a week before he arrives. They have booked and sealed 200 rooms. There's a special lift uniquely prepared for the presidential use. His room is sealed. No one is allowed access to it. This is the work of the special security team. The hotel sheets and toiletries are removed and replaced. Their place is filled with washed stuffs and fresh fruit under special Kremlin anti-contamination seals. Meanwhile, everything he will need arrives by the plane load. Russian cooks, Russian cleaners, Russian waiters. Meanwhile, teams of diplomats engage in food negotiations with the host. Even after a day of tedious work, Putin prefers to work late into the night. He claims that this is when he gets his best thinking done. Of course, his routine varies from day to day, but most close to him claim that he goes to sleep around 3 a.m. so he can get a full 8 hours of rest before he wakes at noon and starts the process all over again.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. That was so interesting knowing how Putin he treat his go other politicians and welcome in his country. And I know a lot of people would disagree the way how he did, and I know a lot of people or publications scrutinizing the way how he handled the country of Russia. But I think Putin's way is he just handling the country in a very a leader way, and I really appreciate with that one, because a lot of people also appreciate the way how he handled in his country. So nice and so kind, and they are so progressive and very competent country also. And I know a lot of people will appreciate the way how he did. And watching this video, knowing a little, I know this is just a little life of how he is being a president in Russia, and so much you will learn something from him, from the way how he is eating his food is very healthy, and the way I just he has having his pet those dogs. Wow, it's very very nice. Your inspirations, this man is a very strong, and so love watching with this video. And I know guys you enjoyed watching with this one also, because you learn when watching this video you will learn something from it, of how this leader in their country, how they handle with it, how they carries, and how they are concerned with their people. And you can see how developed Russia is, and I hope other countries also can see that one as a positive, as a motivation to handle with their country in such a good way. And I hope you enjoyed watching with this one because I enjoyed it so much, guys. Some comments and suggestions for my next video reaction, please comment down section. I would love to read and respond with you all. And please do like, subscribe, and share with this video if you like. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and spasiba to our Russian friends. Bye bye guys, God bless, and see you in my next video reaction.